One Kavirim, Torah Zayin, Tinyana. We are now, the shiur is sponsored Refuah Shlema, Ras Shiren Bat, Ras Shira Bat, and
Sophia Hava
for
Bat
the
Emalea.
Refuah Shlema of Sophia Hava Bat
Emalea.
Emalea. We're getting really embedded in the Torah now. Always to look over the shoulder, we said. The tzaddik is Rahman. The tzaddik wants to give dat. The tzaddik prays for you. The tzaddik leaves over talmidim by teaching them. When you teach somebody, you get a makif. You should do that as well, because you're going to leave over children. You're leaving the talmidim. When you're going to be after 120, you're still going to be connected in the world. You're still going to get makif from there. And then we said that the makif of the tzaddik is of the next world, and that's showing him you didn't start yet. Moshe Rabbeinu swanav, because he's tapping into bigger things, and he has that ability to give it to you. Don't think you're so advanced. Don't pat yourself on the shoulder. You still have a ways to go. On the same time, the tzaddik also has Melokon Aretz Kevodo. He's able to show you that God is with you, and the low people that are going to give up, he's able to show them, don't give up, Hashem is with you. This is the way that the tzaddik is giving to people. This is the way he's saving them from Averot. This is the way he's giving them Yirat Shamayim. He's showing them, you got to continue moving, and you don't give up. And that's what we said. That's the Kol B'Shamayim Ba'aretz. The tzaddik is working with high people, and he's working with low people. Kol B'Shamayim Ba'aretz. Then we said something amazing, that the tzaddik also, even though he has this makif, which is called a makif of Olam Haba, we said in Ot Chet, that he has to be careful, the Chacham. Because he can't be mamshich makifim that are lemana min hasechem, lemana min hazman. That there's not enough time in this world to be mamshich these to explain these kushiyot. What does that mean? It means like this.
When the tzaddik says tzarich leda eze makif hu tzarich lehamshicha.
Yes.
But didn't we say a makif is something that comes in? Like, do you have the option to?
Yes, you do.
But you already know what it is.
He's saying a great question.
Yeah, but should you hand it over now? Is that
No, handing over is another thing.
Getting it.
Just getting it.
What are we saying? Let's review this, okay? We said that when you have the knowledge which is pnimi, and you give it over, when you're giving over the knowledge pnimi, you're now freeing your mind nitroken mocho to receive the new download of the new sechem. That was a makif, and it becomes pnimi. So whatever you know, when I'm explaining the Gemara to you, it's becoming more clear to me as I'm explaining. Because what I know, I'm giving over. So now I get new updates, new understanding of the Gemara. Now, that's the tzaddik. Now, when we said that the tzaddik seemingly he got to the highest level in this world. And that's what's said in Ozayin. He gets to the highest place, and his makif, which is coming into him, is whoa, it's from the next world. And that's mind-boggling. That's above time and space. That's sechel of like you're in a dream. You dream for 15 seconds, but it's like 10 years. So you could have a knowledge of a 10-year knowledge, which it would take me 10 years to explain to you. That's the tzaddik's makif, and that's showing, wow, Hashem is really big. And so therefore, I didn't start yet, and you also didn't start yet. That's called ma chamita ma pishpachta. Now, then we said in Otchet that the tzaddik has to be careful. He has to know which makif to bring down, which one not to bring down. And now Rabbi David is asking, 1 second. It comes down automatically. It only comes down, says Rabbeinu, if you explain it. If I have my pnimi, and I know, wow, this is a huge pnimi. And if I give over this, I'm getting the next level, and that is pachad pachadim. Because once I get that, you're going to get into places where seemingly even the tzaddik can't deal with that. Even the tzaddik, it's too high for him. That's what we seem to be saying. Now it seems to be a kusha, because in Otzayin we said his makif is no olam haba. So what do you mean? I already got it. No, be careful. Don't give over something, because you might get a makif of olam haba, and the makif of olam is going to confuse you, and you're not going to be able to give it over to the people.
Okay, but
so how do you?
There's hamshacha and legalot. There's two things.
Yes, you only are mamshich if you're megaleh.
You only mamshich if you're megaleh.
That's what we said.
So you can mamshich for yourself and keep it.
So that's what he's saying. No. And now there's a papa of chokmah over here. And says Rabbeinu, you got to be very careful. And then we said, for example, what's an example of that? A person teaching Rashi Tosfos. In Otchet, we said a guy's teaching Rashi Tosafot. So the Rav prepares the shiur, he comes in. Or, he's explaining. Good. What he prepared, it's pnimi. When he's giving over his Pnimi, he's giving over his Gemara. So now you get a question on the Gemara. 1 second. Rashi says this, Tosfot says this, but I don't understand. Because in his own logic, there's a problem. So now there's a problem. But I didn't see that when I prepared the shiur. Only when I'm explaining to you the Tosfot, I explain the problem in the Tosfot. Wow, that's a big problem. Guys, I just thought of a question. Tosfot says this, but actually we can ask a question. The question of Tosfot is, when I said the question, what did I just do? The question was my makif, but it became pnimi. And when I explain the question, I'm giving you over my pnimi, and I'm getting room for a new makif. The new makif is the answer to the question. So I answer now my question of the Gemara. So that's why you're going to see I have many times, when we have a question like this, we can answer like this. Well, actually, it's a problem, but it's actually, here's the answer. When you say the answer, you know what you just got? You just got another question.
Yeah.
Now the question is so hard on the Tosfot that it brings back, here's an answer, but now there's a question on the answer, and it makes it, the original question is so strong that now I'm mibulban ligamre. Doesn't happen all the time. Magid shiur happens all the time. If you want to know what's a good Magid shiur, he knows to stop here. Don't say the next question, because now you lost the whole class and you lost yourself. You lost everybody. Question, answer, you could hold. But now if there's a question on the answer, you yourself are going to get an answer, but then you have a question, and you're just going to be at the end, you don't know anything anymore. Don't know anything.
But this is what the Gemara does all day.
So you got to...
It answers the question, and you drive you crazy. They had to also relax on the makif they got.
They stopped the Mishnah.
Huh?
They stopped the next
Now,
Mishnah.
you need to know where your level is. You need to know, for one guy, just to get the basic back and forth, the Gemara is very hard. What do you're putting me the Rashis and the Kushas and Rashis. Let me understand, Bichlal, what's a Zrika, what's a Holacha, we're doing now in Amud Yomi. What's a Machshava, Pigun, what is all these things? But then when you have all that clear, because you work, and it's very clear to me, it's like your house. You're driving in Kotzinuk, you know the streets, you know everything. If you just keep driving on this Gemara and taking these streets, you're going to end up knowing it. It's not going to be hard. Nothing is hard. Nothing is hard. And everything is hard. All the Torah is very easy and all the Torah is very hard. The first time it's very hard. You learn it 5 times, 10 times, 100 times, it's very easy. It's like your phone number is hard for you. Well, if I don't, you give me a long phone number in Israel with extensions and numbers. You sometimes you call the bank and you got to press this number. So at the beginning, okay, here I'm going to tell you about pay. Here's the number you got to call. You got to do this extension. Press that number and then go to this. You're gonna I forgot it. They say that the phone number you can remember. Like how many numbers you got? 3 and 4. Sometimes you remember the kidomit. But now if I tell you it's something you called every day, it's easier for you. It's not hard for you at all. It's pashut for you. So then that's pnimi for you. So everybody has a makif which is above his level, and everybody has a pnim which is above his level. You got to be very careful what you're doing to yourself, what you're doing to others. And that's the simple pshat in the Gemara Rashi Tosfot. I'm telling you, a good teacher knows where to stop. A good Rebbe, he knows how much, don't overwhelm them. I'm teaching my daughter now Aleph Bet. So how do I teach her? We're doing Kamatz Patach. Kamatz Patach Tzere Segel, so we have a song. Now, I see that Kamatz Patach Tzere Segel, she's good. When you get to Cholam, she's mitbalbel. If I go on to Kubut Shuruk, Kubut Shuruk, I lost her. So for 3 days, I'm just working on the Cholam. Kamatz Cholam, Tzere Cholam. Just cholam. Get her the cholam. If I go next, even cholam she's not going to get. She's not going to get anything. So a real teacher knows to go down to the level to see where you're stuck. That's a good teacher, right? He's able to see where you're blocked, and I'm going to go again on that again and that again. I give it to you and that. Now you're ready. We're going to go to the next level. It's tzimtzum. If I skip levels, now I'm going to start teaching her how to all the exceptions to the rules. That's it. And then she's going to be so broken she doesn't want to sit with me anymore. So I give her a candy, come, because it's hard. It's hard to get mistakes. It's hard to not know. So I give her a candy. If you're going to come, you're going to get a little jelly bean. And if you get it good a few times, and I keep telling her, encouraging you, God, you're amazing. Then the next day I can add something else, the next day add something else. If a Rebbe goes too far with the Talmud, he broke the Talmud. And Rav Kenny was a master of that. He knew each one how to go on his level, not too high. When he would speak to simple people, it was very simple on their level. When he would speak to Talmidei Chachamim, when he would speak to, there was a Rav Tzion Schwam, who was a big Chassid Breslev in Sfat, a big oivid. Remember him, was a light. So he told me once that All right, we heard from him once that, to verify the story, who knows it word for word, but I heard from somebody who said, and it's the type of story that's real, is that he was looking at the Likutei like we had over here, and there's a lot of kushot. We're going to, like, even the Rav, when we learned with us Likutei there was the first layer, simple. Second layer, third year, and after the years, after 4, 5, 10 years, then on round 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, he would start to go deep. He would start to, but the first years, and the first, even the later years, but the first cycle of learning the Torah, because we learn the Torah again and again and again, he was not showing contradictions, not mebalben. If I don't even understand the simple pshat, you're going to start to show me problems, you lost me. So let's go, let's give chizuk, let's give stories about this, let's give the concepts, let's get you. And then when we do the second and third time, he was able, so Rav Simon Schwan is working on this for a while, he has problems in the Torah and Likutei Moharan. He comes into the Rabbi, sits down, and he doesn't ask his questions. The Rav knows his questions and starts giving him answers in his questions on the highest level of the Likutei Moharan. You understand the level that he has? He knows your question before you come to sit down with him. He knows your kusha on the Likutei Moharan. You understand the Ruach HaKodesh that is? You understand the depth that he has it? He's metaretz him all the kushot. Who can do that? Stories like that with Baba Meir, different stories. They know where you're coming. So, when you're teaching Rashi Tosfot, when you're teaching anything out of bet, don't go too high. Now, it's true I told you this in terms of the student, but it's also for you yourself. Because when you're teaching the Rashi Tosfot and you get the question and you get the answer and then you get another question and the answer, you yourself, you're lost, you don't even know the beginning. You don't even know how to start from the bottom anymore. You're so mibulban from the question at the end that even the beginning of the Gemara, you're not sure anymore. So you got to be careful. Rabbeinu uses this as an example to explain how the tzaddik has to be as well. The tzaddik also, when he's giving over his hasagot, when he's giving over his diburim, he has to be careful. Right now I'm going to give over something major. If I do that, I'm getting something big himself. So the tzaddik himself is getting over something, seems to be over here, that's too big even for the tzaddik. And the problem here, there's a kusha here. The kusha here is, we said before in Ozayin, that his makif is olam haba. Now we're telling you, be careful, don't be mamshich kusha of olam haba. So there is the Papa that explains this. He's the Rav Nachman Tcheriner. Let me give you a little background of who's Rav Nachman Tcheriner, which is, so there was Rabbeinu, right? He passed away in 1810. Rabbi Natan was his main Talmud. Rabbi Natan was Kodesh Kodeshim. At the same time, there is Rav Aaron of Breslev. Rav Aaron of Breslev was the posek of the city of Breslev. Rav Aaron of Breslev was a great posek, gadol ador, Sara Torah. Like we say stories of Rav Moshe Feinstein, Rav Menzion Sharon, Rav Ovadia, this type of level of gdolim, that all the Torah is in their pocket, and they're poskim gdolim b'mana. Rav Aaron was not a Chassid of Rabbeinu, and Rabbeinu wanted that in the city of Breslev he should put Rav Aaron, because a Rebbe cannot be and a posek and Rebbe at the same time, even though he has the abilities. Rabbeinu said that he learned Shulchan Aruch 3 times as a child. One time the psak, first get the psakim, then he got the mikorot. If you try to get the same thing, try to get the mikorot before the psak, you're going to be mitbaben. Get the psak, kosher not kosher, allowed or not allowed. Then get how the Gemara learns it out. Then he did the sod of the dvarim. Rabbeinu knew all the api kabbalah, and that was the first when he was young. Then later it was bichlal. We can talk about what he did. So Rabbeinu could be a posek, but you can't be a posek if you're being the Rebbe. So he needed a real solid posek to be the posek of the city of Breslev, and that was Rav Aaron. And how did he get Rav Aaron to come? Imagine how great Rav Aaron was, that Rabbeinu said that he never used schut avot. He wanted to be a self-made man. No, the father's rich, so I'll take my father's money, I'll make an investment. That's nice, good, why not? No, I'm going to make it myself. I'm going to study, I'm going to invest. I don't want to be talui. A little bit the same thing. Rabbeinu didn't want to use the schut avot that he had from the Baal Shem Tov, from his father. He never used them. 3 times when he needs something major, he used them. And it works, by the way. Somebody has a holy grandfather, a great grandfather, they leave over merits for you. They leave over, they don't take everything with them. So they're leaving over the schuyot that you can cash them in. The guy has mitzvot, he has tzedakot, he has kedusha. So the tzaddikim, you can actually tap into that and b'schut avotai. It's a real thing. Rabbeinu used it 3 times. One was he saw the soul of Rabbi Aaron Brest and he wanted to bring Rabbi Aaron. He wanted to bring him and make him his chassid. So he actually used the Zchut Avot to bring Rabbi Aaron. Rabbi Aaron was Kodesh Kodeshim, Kashe Lavin et Gedulato. Rabbi Aaron had a grandson. His name was Rav Nachman of Tcheriner. Okay, so he was called Rav Nachman Goldschmidt. He was the grandson of Rabbi Aaron of Brestev. He was a Talmid Rabbi Natan. He was also a child prodigy. For example, the Rav of Tcheriner, when he was, I think, a young boy, I can't remember, was it 6 years old or 10 years old, they were doing Bidikat Chametz. It's really funny. Look why it's funny, because it's really what we're holding today. He was doing Bidikat Chametz, and they couldn't find the kid. Help us out with the Bidikat Chametz. So they're looking for a young Nachman, who was named after Rabbeinu, because Rabbeinu had just passed away before he was born. And so they're looking for him, they can't find him. They find him in the attic. There was no basements back then, there was an attic. And the attic is where, like, you store things, you put hay over there. And he's there with a candle and Masechet Psachim. So we're doing Bidikat Chametz. He said, this is my Bidikat Chametz. And he was halfway through Masechet Psachim. That's what we're halfway through Masechet Psachim. Today we learned some of it. So he was halfway through, at 6 or 7 years old. Just to tell you a little bit more, that when he was the same age, they used to sell books in front of the shuls. There was no bookstore. The guy gets the new books, he's traveling around selling them from place to place like a wheeler and dealer. So they would put the table out in front of the shul, and you come and buy Sfarim, the new Sfarim. So there was there a new shoot. It doesn't say who the shoot was. A shoot is like the highest level of halakha. A shoot is a shalot shuvah. We have a new question, and we don't know what to do. So we submit it to the Gadol Ado, to Rav Osner, to Rav Moshe, to Rav Yoshiv. Whoa, what's the psak over here? So Rav Vadia will write 10 pages to give you one psak. And those 10 pages, you need to be so versed in all the Torah, because you need to be medamin mita lemita, to explain one thing from the other, and to be able to go to this Gemara, this Rishon, compared to this one, but there's a difference, and there's a chiluk, and to build a whole edifice, a whole binyan. 10 pages, come up, sak alachan maaseh, here's my yesodot. That is very hard. It could take a Talmid Chacham a week, without exaggeration, all day learning one shoot of Yabi Omer. Like to go through all the Mikorot and all the Rishonim and understand everything could really take a week, not a joke. Some are shorter, some are longer, but a big sugya. And so they're selling shutim on the table. So the young Rav Nachman comes and he goes like this. Like 3-4 minutes mid-avdev. Okay? Maybe I'm exaggerating, it's 10-15 minutes, not written in the story, didn't see how many minutes he was there. But he was just standing and browsing through the book. So then he tells the seller, how much is it? So he tells him in the Russian currency, whatever it was back then, it's 50 ruble. So I'll give you 25. So I tell him, but it's 50. He said, but I already know the book. I don't need to buy it. I'm just doing you a favor. He said, so he's very upset with him. So what do you mean I already know the book? He says, now test me. So he started to test him, and he started to say verbatim the shoot. Word for word. Word for word, a shoot of one of the Gdolim is started, word for word a shoot. So that the 13-year-old kid, 14-year-old kid, I don't know how old he was. It's not written. That's becomes eventually of Nachman of Tcheriner. Another story on him, his grandson was Rabbi Sternholz. So what's interesting is that the daughter of Rav Nachman of Tcheriner married a grandson of Rabbi Natan. Okay, so now Rab Aaron, 2 Talmidim of Rav Rabbeinu, Rav Nosson and Rab Aaron. Rab Aaron has the Rav Nachman of Tcheriner, and Rav Nosson has children, grandson, and this grandson marries the daughter of Rav Nachman of Tcheriner. So now there is a descendant that he is from Rab Aaron, from the mother, and from Rabbi Natan, from the father. That is Rabbi Avraham Sternholz. Rabbi Avraham Sternholz, he was the mashpia in Uman for all the years. He was the chazan in Uman for 60 years. He was the Amud HaTavech. He was like one of the big chains between the old world and the new world. When he got out of Russia and he got to Jerusalem, there was 30-40 Hasidic Brestev. That's it. And most of them were not in Uman. So he was the Zaken, the grandson. He was the grandson of Nachman of Tcheriner and the grandson of Rabbi Natan. So he had all the family Mesorah, and he had all the Gedula of Posek of Rav Nachman of Tcheriner, who was also a Talmid Rabbi Natan. Rav Nachman of Tcheriner, so this is Rabbi Avraham Sternholz. Rabbi Avraham Sternholz was a young man. He was living in the house of the Rabbi of Tcheriner. And the reason he was living in the house is because his mother passed away. So his mother passed away, so we went to go live in the house of the Zayden. Don't want to go too far. Finish the story. So one day he's in another city, and tomorrow I'll tell you his pshat over here. One day he's in another city, and there in the city there was a big gaon who also wrote shutim. So he takes Rabbi Abraham Sternhartz and tells him, "Where are you from?" He said, "I'm from the city of Tcheriner." He said, "You know the Rav of the city of Tcheriner?" He said, "Of course I know him. He's my grandfather." He says, "Tell him I'm upset with him. I'm exaggerating a little bit. I don't think he said it said. Tell him that I see that he has a big moach. He's a great gaon. And why is he writing those little books? Because Rav Nachman Shirin wrote the Kitzur Likutei. He wrote the Mari Mekomot on the Sefer Hamidot. He wrote, what comes out of it as Ishtapchut HaNefesh. Otzar Hayira is like, it's the Likutei Etzot on the Likutei Arachot. And I'll explain another time what that means. But basically, he was refining and making more accessible all Rabbi Natan's works. All the Sifrei Breslev that he was working on them and making them accessible to be really like prêt-à-porter, turnkey. And so the Gaon tells him, "I see your grandfather's a big Gaon. Why isn't he writing shutim? Why isn't he writing? He could write shutim, I see. The shutim we spoke about." So ask him why he's not doing that. So Rabbi Abraham comes back to his grandfather and says, "Listen, I met the Rav over there, and he told me that you can write shutim. Why are you not shutim?" So Rabbi Nachman Tcheriner pointed at the bookshelf, says, "Go give me that sefer." So he went up, climbed up, he brought him down, and it was the shut of the Rav from the other city that was telling him why shouldn't he write shutim. And they opened it up, and it was full of arot and agaot. There was, corrections, mistake over here, mari makom. The whole thing was written up like overnight. This is like people overnight. The stories like that. The Chida, when he got the Pnei Yeshua, when the Chida was traveling, he got the book of the Pnei Yeshua, and they didn't know who he was, the Chida. But he got the book, and he forgot it in the city. He had left, and they found that the whole Pnei Yeshua was with agaot, and they ran over to see who is this Gaon. It's the Chida. Meaning these people, they know everything. It's like your city and your phone number. So then when we make we change a sign, when you're driving down the street, there's a new stop sign, so there's a new stop sign. It's like the whole sugya, so when there's a little change, it's easier for you to be there. So Rav Nachman Tcheriner showed him, Rav Nachman, the Tcheriner Rov showed him, I can write shutim, there's no problem. Says, but I'm writing a shoot that people are going to use in the grave. What's a shoot? She'ela and Tshuva. We've never had sushi before. What bracha do we say on sushi? Do we go on the rice or do we go on the fish? We never had transplants. Are you allowed to take a transplant from a goy? A million and one questions. Now they're having kvarim that are not in the ground. They're in buildings. Is it considered in the ground? Not considered in the ground. Who can deal with this? Rav Nachman says, I can write shutim. She'ela u'tshuva. What do we do with such a grave? This is what we do. He says, I'm writing a shoot that people are going to have what to answer in the grave. After 120, you're going to get to heaven, and they're going to ask you, what did you do? If he reads my books, he's going to have what to answer. If he reads the books of Rabbeinu, of Rav Nosson, he's going to have the ability to do tshuva, that he's going to be able to have what to say in Beidin Shalmana. You're going to be able to justify your act and meaning to change. You're going to be able to say, yeah, I did good because I had all the yetzot to overcome all the yetzirah. It's true, we need all the shutim and the kodashim. We need all of them. But we also need, if that's all we have, so who's going to teach you how to change? You need Sifrei Rabbeinu, you need Sifrei Nosson, you need Sifrei Rav Tcheriner, you need all the Gdolei Anash to give you the ability to overcome the Yetzirah. It's very good if you know what to say bracha on sushi. But if the guy's pogem babrit all the time, so what is going to help him is good bracha. We need you to say the right bracha on sushi, and we need you also to be kadosh. That's the shoot of the Rav Nachman Tcheriner. So tomorrow, Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm going to just give hakdama of what we're talking. So Rav Nachman Tcheriner wrote a sefer Papal Lechochma on the back of the Likutei Moharan. It's not in the back today, it's printed in the back in Sanan. That's many times bringing out biurim in the Likutei Moharan. Rav Nosson wrote Likutei Arachot. We'll speak about it another time. That's a running drash based on the halacha, based on Kabbalah, and based on Likutei Moharan. The Papal Lechochma is going in the Torah. Look, there's a problem. Here's how we can answer. Here's a birur. So many times the Rav Kenning, because Rav Kenning is his father Rav Gedali was the Talmid of Rav Sternhartz, who was the grandson of Rav Nachman Tcheriner, who was Rav Avram was on both sides, Rabbi Natan and the Rav Aaron, and so therefore we would always go to the Papot. The Papot was the go-to. So tomorrow I'll tell you the answer to the Papot.